Hey everyone, it's Rob from Hypop and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Lume Cube Ring Light Pro. So I've got with me the Lume Cube Ring Light Pro. And for those of you that are familiar with the Lume Cube brand, they make a range of different lighting solutions, including smaller LED panels, as well as a range of different shapes and sizes to suit so many different content creators, whether you're a photographer, a video maker, filmmaker, content creator, or just a hobbyist. So full disclosure, they have sent this light over to us for review, and this is a sponsored video. However, they haven't mentioned what to say about the ring light. They haven't expressed to us, any details to mention in the video. So this video is completely our own opinion. Now, this is the first time seeing and opening this package, so let's go through that together now. So it comes in this neat white box, and it also has displayed right on the front what the product is. However, on the back here, it shows you what's included, which is neat. So it says it's gonna have the Ring Light Pro, light stand, there's gonna be a phone clip, a remote control, a travel case, as well as an AC power adapter. So I've just opened the box and you can see it's just one neat bag, just like this. And here's the travel case. So this is the travel case for the Lume Cube Ring Light Pro. You can see it has the Lume Cube branding. There's nothing on the back here. And there are no handles apart just from the carry handles here. And you have some zipper openings here. Kind of open about halfway, or say a third of the way down on the side here. That opens up the case. And on the inside, we have, firstly, we've got the remote control with 2 AAA batteries. We've got the AC adapter. We also have the mobile bracket. The ring light. We have just sort of like an instruction guide. It lists out what all the controls are for the remote control as well as the ring light. And we have something about the warranty, I think, here. Just telling them to tell them about your experience. And right at the bottom here, we've got a little compact light stand. And I've checked all the compartments there. I believe that's it. Now on the inside here of the case, you've got the little sleeve here for the ring light, and that's where the ring light slips into. However, you do have 2 pouches here, which is sort of like a netted mesh pouch that houses all the little accessories here too. And right at the bottom, there's a Velcro strap here that secures in place the light stand. So just going through everything that's included now that I've removed all of the packaging. You've got the ring light here, and this is the Ring Light Pro. You can see it is a nice design on the ring light itself. It's actually quite thin in terms of its design. And the diffusers themselves, they're actually built into the panel, so you can't remove these diffusers. There's the light stand mount here at the bottom that mounts to the light stand, and also a tilt bracket here that allows you to tilt the light. I believe it is 180 degrees, so completely horizontal there, especially if you're trying to shoot top-down type of stuff. You've got the light stand here, and the light stand is actually quite compact and nice. It's one of the reverse fold stands, so you can see it actually folds in on itself like that. However, you need to continue to fold it out in the opposite direction to turn into a tripod. It also has 4 different sections here as extendable parts for the light stand, which is awesome. And over here, we've got the remote control. Now the remote control looks like it has a few different buttons and features, ones that can control the brightness as well as the color temp. And it has some preset buttons there too for color temp as well as the brightness. So you can go to 25, 50 or 100% on the brightness. And that takes 2 AAA batteries. So we can open this up and install that in so we can test that. Now we've got the AC adapter. Now this ring light is supposed to be a cordless ring light. So I'm assuming that this not only supplies power, however, also would charge the internal battery on the ring light too. So that's good to have. It also has the mobile bracket. So this is the mobile bracket here that mounts, and it has a 1/4" thread that allows you to sort of twist and tilt a mobile device. This mobile bracket also has some cold shoe mounts at the bottom here, and the top and the bottom. So you can mount other things such as a microphone, I'm assuming, or any other sort of accessory that would fit a cold shoe. And you also have a Allen key here, and the Allen key must be to secure or fasten something which I haven't seen just yet, but we'll take a closer look at that one. Looks like it could actually be for, yeah, not too sure. We'll take a closer look at that one. And of course the sort of instruction guide or button indicators that show you what all the controls do on the remote as well as on the ring light itself. Let's get this set up on a tabletop stand. So I've got the Ring Light Pro set up on this mini desktop stand here. This isn't included, but for those of you that want to know, this is the Spectrum 43cm desktop stand. And you can set it up on the larger stand that's included with the kit here. However, we've just got it here just for display purposes. So the ring light itself has 256 LEDs that are built in, and these LEDs produce a lux reading of 1700 lux at 0.5 meters. These LEDs are also color temperature adjustable, and you can adjust them from 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin, which is convenient. There's a bunch of different onboard controls here that allow you to change the brightness as well as the color temp, and also it has charging ports here for the USB as well as the AC or DC plug here that allows you to charge the internal lithium ion battery. Now the lithium ion batteries on the inside give you a 70-minute working time at full output, so that's at 100% output. It's about 70 minutes, and on the lower outputs you can get up to about 120 minutes, which is great. And the fact that it is cordless, so you don't need this, you'll only need this if you have access to AC and you want to plug this in, or just to charge the internal battery. The fact that it is cordless means that it's really a portable light and you're able to take it with you on location. So if you're using this as a functional light, or maybe a light that you use for your own profession, you can take this out to a client's house, set this up in a studio, and you won't need to worry about these cables. You do have the onboard controls here to control everything. However, you do have that remote control that's included. I mean, it is an extra piece to worry about. However, it is still great to be able to control everything at a distance, especially if you're busy or two hands are tied up and you don't want to walk all the way over to your light and adjust all the settings. You can just do so with the remote control. Now you have the USB charging ports here on the side, and these are two USB Type A charging ports that will charge any device, and likely to be a mobile phone. And that's convenient too if you have a phone that's like a recording device, taking photos and videos. It's consuming battery. It's good to be able to pass through some of that charge through these ports here too. Now I found out what this Allen key is for, and it's actually to tighten and secure some of these screws here, these Allen screws on the side of the smartphone bracket. Smartphone bracket has quite a bit of tension, and it looks quite sturdy because it allows you to mount a phone in portrait mode as well as in landscape mode. And to mount that, all you need to do is actually just make sure that the 1/4" screw lines up to the female thread here, and you just spin the wheel here to tighten. There we go. So the light itself is 17.5 inches in diameter. So it's slightly smaller than some others on the market, like we've seen ones that can go as large as 18 or 22 inches. So it is a compact ring light, and you can see here it is quite thin, as I mentioned previously. Now this bulkhead here, or this part of the ring light, makes the inner diameter quite small as in comparison to other ring lights, only because it does occupy a bit of space here, and that's presuming that the internal battery here is on the inside, so it does occupy some space here. However, the convenient thing about that is that it's an all-in-one unit, so it's all on this one device. You don't have to worry about additional parts for your battery and things like that. And you can see you also have the controls, which I can turn on here, and I can actually immediately operate the light because, as mentioned previously, it is a cordless light and it has the battery on the inside, and straight away it tells you how many hours of battery charge you have. So you can see there's a battery indicator. It shows you the channel that it's currently on, which is channel 1. So if you wanted to go through the instruction guide on the card that they provide you, there's a QR code here that you can scan, and that leads you over to a YouTube video which goes through the setup of the light itself and as well as all the controls. Now, to control it with the remote that's provided, firstly you have to ensure that the light is on, because if the light is not on, you're unable to control the light. So you got to flick that switch on, and from there the remote should be paired with the ring light immediately. And if it's not, I suggest you go to that video here on that QR code so you can go through that pairing process. Now from here you can actually control the light on or off, and although it is on technically with the power there, you can see the light itself is on. I can also turn it off, so the light itself is off. However, the power is still on here as well, as you can see. And so that's not a real off. The dead switch here will just be the on-off switch. So once that's on, you can control the light actually in 5% increments, and you can go all the way down to 1%. So when it gets to 5% and you go down, it goes down to 1%, which is on, and it's not completely off there, but it's very dim. And you can see it actually gives you how many hours would be left at 1%, which is 10 hours, and that's quite a bit. Now let's go cycle all the way up to 100%. So you can just hold down the remote to the dimming control there, and that will go to 100%. And right now that I'll put it at 100%, it shows me it only has 38 minutes of battery. So it's good to have a battery indicator there, especially if you're using this on location. Now 100% is actually quite bright, although I do have quite a few studio lights here, so you're not seeing how bright it is. It's quite bright for most people, so you probably won't be using it at 100%, perhaps less than that, 70 or 60%. And from there at 60%, it will tell me that it can give me 1.2 hours of battery. And that's really cool how it actually cycles the actual time left for the battery as soon as I change it. So it's 70%, and then it will change the cycle time there, and only 1 hour of battery life left. Now from there we have the color temperature mode that you can change in 100 Kelvin increments. So if you want that warmer sort of color temperature, you can change it up to the daylight, which is 5600 Kelvin. And then you also have what they call some hotkeys or some presets. So you can jump to certain color temperatures if you need to, 3200 Kelvin, 5600 Kelvin, rather than cycling, 100K increments. You can just go straight to 5600 Kelvin, and same with the output. So 25%, 50%, so 25, 50, 100, which is great. So the remote control definitely is a useful component. Just make sure you don't lose that one, especially if you're taking this with you on location. And we'll turn that one off there. Now in terms of the bracket itself, you can see I've screwed on the mobile bracket. You also do have that cold shoe on the top and bottom of the mobile bracket, but you have two more cold shoe attachments here. Now there's no way to mount anything else because they don't provide you the little accessories that you would need to mount this directly, but perhaps the accessories that you will be mounting already have some adapters that allow you to mount whatever device it is that you will be mounting. So people would mount a tablet, they might mount a full camera in there, they might add a microphone or another light if needed. So a range of different things. You can mount accessories onto those points there. Now having said that, once the light is on, you can actually control it via the dials on the side. So obviously you've got the brightness dial here, you've got the color temp dial, you've got that channel dial or the USB dial that allows you to pair up to your remote control. So you do have the onboard controls here apart from the remote control that's provided. Now looking at the stand, so we'll turn this off. This is the stand that's included. Now it does look like a fairly sturdy stand for this ring light because the ring light itself isn't that heavy. It's quite thin. The bulk of it is really that component there where the battery sits as well as all the controls. And you can see that folding mechanism looks to be quite convenient, and you can screw this down to tighten. Now you do have those 4 different segments that allow you to extend the height of the stand. Now this stand can extend from 45 centimeters, which is its lowest setting here, up to about 178 centimeters, so almost 6 feet there. So it will cover most heights, especially for seated type of things, or even if the subject is standing. And you also obviously do have that tilting function there that allows you to tilt the ring light head as you need to. Now mounting to the stand is actually quite easy. All you need to do is just loosen the knob on the back here to make sure that the screw is not obstructing the way. Mounts directly to the top, then you just screw to tighten. And you can see even on the lowest setting, the stand is secure enough or sturdy enough to allow you to go to that sort of top-down kind of shot for the ring light. And that's completely horizontal there. Probably tilt that a bit more. There we go. So this is kind of like a funny shot. However, what I've actually done is turned off a key light here in our studio, so there's no front facing lights. I've got a lot of the ambient lights, the RGB lights behind me here in our studio. However, I'll be using the Ring Light Pro from Lume Cube here as my main key light, just to see the quality of the light as used as a key light in front of me here. So I'm gonna put this all the way up at 100%, we'll see that. And we'll also change the color temp over to 56. So we're using the Ring Light Pro now as the main key light for this shot. So you can kind of see the light quality. It does produce quite a bit of light as a main key light. And it also doesn't sort of hurt my eyes, or it's not too bright it's not unbearable. Even at 100%, which is great to see. And also it's useful and practical because you're able to change this color temp if you need to as well. So if I wanted to go to a warmer color temp to sort of suit these lights a bit more, you can see I'm gonna dial this to a warmer color temp. And that looks a little bit better now on screen, so you can see it kind of matches the rest of the lighting in the shot. And I'm using this as the main key light. So you can imagine if I mount a mobile phone here, or if I mount a camera, you'd be able to use this, especially for things like talking headshots, or if you want to use it for a practical light for your profession, it'd be perfect for that too. So I've got the Ring Light Pro roughly about 1 meter away from me here. I'm not sure if I'm in focus, but let's try to get myself in focus. And it's more than an arm's length, and I'm just measuring the CRI here with my light meter, and it's coming up with 98.8 CRI, which is almost 99, and that's amazing. And in terms of the lux, it's coming up at 1,840 lux, almost at 1 meter. So it's actually rated higher than what they're stating. And from here, it's also 5,776 CCT. And I believe it's currently at 5,600. So give or take plus or minus 200 Kelvin. So a very accurate light indeed. So that was just our unboxing and review of the Lume Cube Ring Light Pro. This ring light definitely has quite a lot of features not really seen on other ring lights. However, there are some pros and cons. Things such as the inbuilt batteries, which are definitely a great feature because that means you don't have to fiddle around with them. But the problem is, like with most batteries, if it does degrade with battery life over time, there's no way to kind of change those batteries out. It's not removable from what I can see. So in some cases, it's good to have ring lights that allow you to mount batteries instead of having the inbuilt ones. The fact that it's quite slim and it makes it very portable, it's lightweight. Having the built-in battery is also a pro, so you can see it as an advantage because it means it's just less little things to worry about. And you also have those onboard controls as well as the provided remote control. It comes in one neat little package. It allows you to change the color temp dials as well as the dimness, and you also have the USB charging as well as the mobile bracket that's included, because for a lot of the people that would be looking at this light, you'd be a content creator using a mobile device to shoot your photos and videos. And the light stand's quite sturdy for the ring light market, because we have seen other ring light stands that might be a little bit too lightweight for what they're mounting on top, but this ring light, seeing that it's quite light in size and it's quite slim, it's perfect perfect for that light stand. And we also did some testing there on the light meter that showed that this was a very accurate light in terms of its color temperature, its CRI rating, and that means all the colors and all the colors in your photos and your videos will be coming across and rendering accurately. So that's important for things like beauty, when they're, you know, taking photos and videos of, say, you know, nails, nail polish or makeup, and you want all those colors and skin tones to be represented accurately. You'd be looking for a light just like this. So for more videos just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be updated of any new content we release. Leave a like on the video if it's helped you. Feel free to leave down in the comments section below your thoughts, or if you have any questions about the Lume Cube Ring Light Pro. Follow us on socials, the links are down below, and visit our website, hypop.com.au. Thanks for watching.